Hello everyone. Welcome back. Like I said, I don't do many of these, but this is one of those things where I have to do this again because I hate video blogging, but people force me out of it, and I have to do it. And this is covering a topic that's it's been on the news. It's not really big news, but it's enough news that it really bothers me, not only as a human being, but also as an American, which is the whole big clusterfuck news report about how there's going to be a mosque built near the areas of Ground Zero in New York City. Now, to give you some background on me for a little bit, even though I hate it, is that I'm pretty much an atheist. Um, I say pretty much because uh, I think there is a sort of spirituality, whether that is just an emotion of feeling connected to the overall processes of the universe or what have you. I do think something like that exists, and I also cannot disprove that somehow all humans were not created by some being that's either more vastly intelligent or resourceful than us. However, I do believe that if the later case was true, that it would not resemble anything God or plural gods, goddesses that we perceive, because as Socrates once said, if horses were uh, self-aware and intelligent and they created gods, they would all look like horses because all of them are horses. So basically, I pretty much think that all modern religion, especially pertaining to a godhood or god pantheon, is bullshit. Um, with that background, I do think that it shouldn't even be an issue that an Islam group wants to build a mosque near Ground Zero because it's a mosque, it's a holy building. I know a lot of Middle Eastern people. I am not Middle Eastern myself, but I know a lot of them because I'm around the area, and most of them, when you go to a mosque, it's pretty much like when you walk in any other religious building. They go in, they sit, they pray, and then some guy talks about a bunch of issues going on in the community of who has bred this, why does God relate to that, how you can cleanse whatever evil spirits from your underwear, the end, and this is pretty much what they do in there. But thanks to a bunch of militant extremists in that religion, people think that anyone with brown skin, curly hair, and potentially add in, although it doesn't have to be a necessity, believes in Islam, is automatically a terrorist towelhead that will explode because somehow they're filled with nitroglycerin. This is a wrong point of view because the thing about it is that if you're going to compare one religion, we might as well compare them all. And all religions have their share of warfare, genocide, bias, and horrific crimes against humanity. Um, Jews, while also the most persecuted in their power, when they attained power, Judaism has also been used as excuse for war and genocide among communities, especially back in ancient times. Christians, especially, who are the most vocal about this mosque issue, should have no right to complain, considering that they were the direct result of the Crusades, as well as the whole the Hitler fiasco, where not only were most of Hitler's people religious Catholics, mostly in the Protestant region, but even the Pope um, agreed to the whole system of Nazism, which of course did all the slaughtering of not just Jews, but pretty much anyone that Hitler didn't like or thought his paintings were horrible. So basically, we have a history, as well as, and I know I'm leaving out Sikhs and Buddhists and other groups, but I know they have theirs too. I've researched it. I just don't want to explain any longer than that. But as you can see, we have had histories of all religions doing these things. And a lot of times they're not only doing these things, but it's really only a few group of people who are doing these things. And much like I don't think we should look at the KKK and the Phelps organization and condemn all of Christianity as being like that, even though there are passages that you can misconstrue to lead to that. I don't think it's right to say to look at the Taliban and claim that all of the entire Muslim community is like that. Especially since I know a lot of Muslims and Middle Eastern people, I can pretty much guarantee that not all of them are like that. So, in my opinion, you either ban religion altogether or you simply just allow that this is and you go after the extremists, which, as I remember, we haven't done that yet because we had to take a detour in order to get more oil, land, and power for our almighty American empire, which we seem to be steadily gathering together since the 1950s. I think if we more resolve that issue and we also dissolve all the hate between various groups, because if they didn't have religion, let's face it, they would go to extremism in race, in politics, in business, in music, in cheese, in which people wear the right hats, what color their hair, what have you. That if we dissolve the hate, or at least even attempt to dissolve the hate, we might get to a point where at least when people get murdered, they would have nothing but themselves to blame for the atrocities that happen. Anyhow, that's just my thoughts on the issue, especially being previously a Roman Catholic, and I've studied a lot of Catholicism and Catholic history, which a lot of its baselines can also be shared with other Christian organizations. I particularly wag my finger at Christians who are against the building of this mosque, because one piece of argument, if this is true, then no church should be built anywhere in Jerusalem where thousands of innocent people were slaughtered in order to build a Christian nation. No church should be, basically all churches should be demolished because they were all built on top of pagan worship places in which their populations were decimated and tortured for conversion methods. And no church should not be anywhere near any sort of African American, for it was the churches that completely approved the slavery system and also offered passages as excuse to put such a system in place. And so with that, I think this whole bullshit should really stop. Let them have their center there. Let's build a Christian church there. Let's build a synagogue there. Let's build a Shinto shrine there. I don't really care. What I think we should more do is let's take all this anger for this mosque and instead put it towards these fucking bankers and real estate people who have approved that this mosque and other buildings around it, around the World Trade Center Ground Zero site built, but still have not approved and even started plans for building some sort of memorial there, and that they're not even going to build a memorial there, they're going to build more business stuff just in order to fill their money with pockets and then claim that they're these great religious people when in reality they're not. They're screwing all of us over for their god, the dollar. And as a quick jab, let's just be glad that Scientology Center's not put in there. Okay, I'm basically done. Maybe more videos. I know I want to do a positive video because I usually say negative stuff. And by the way, one last thing, these are all my opinions, obviously. This is YouTube. I am not God. I don't want to be God. So if you disagree with me, I'm probably going to argue with you in the comments. But if you disagree with me, I mean, that's fine. Because we're all assholes. We have opinions. We all have them. So, yeah. Okay, I'm going to quit babbling. Thank you for watching this video. Please rate it up. If you rate it down, I will murder you. Just kidding. Not really. Bye.